In this video, I want to talk about the ethics of AI. AI is all around us. It is changing our lives in ways we may not even know it. But do we truly understand the impact of this technology and how it really fits into our view of the world? Hi everyone, my name is Ruben, and I'm a professional treasure hunter or a data strategist, if you're looking for a more conventional term. And I work with companies to help them figure out the insights from their data. Every company has data, it's just a matter of how you actually work through it. Today, I want to go into a little bit more of an advanced topic, AI. AI is really popular. Every company is embarking on some kind of AI project or journey, but there is a question around the ethics around these models. And I want to share with you 3 ideas to help you better understand the strategy of your AI models and AI code and projects. So first, it's sort of a fascinating place to be because we have code that's now running our lives. We're seeing moderation happen on online websites like Facebook and Google and YouTube. That's not really humans doing it. It's by far and large machines. And in some cases, humans intervene. We're seeing AI in, let's say, employment processes to sort of vet resumes. I was talking to a dentist, and they're using the AI to gauge what needs to be done. That is, they'll take an X-ray of your teeth, and then the AI will sort of pinpoint specific things, and then the dentist will confirm that or deny it. But it's everywhere, right? And it's in ways we don't really see it, right? In the route in Google Maps, in the face tagging, in how we think about fraudulent transactions in banking. So nonetheless, the ethical considerations over these models, how they touch individual people, the biases, the prejudices, those are things we have to think about. And when you're developing AI projects, this is one of the key considerations. So the first idea you want to think about is that of a checks and balances. The most complex systems we deal with all have checks and balances. You think about a government, the US government or the Canadian government or European governments, there's typically houses that check each other, right? So in the US, the 2 houses can check the president. We heard a lot about presidential pardons, as we do, towards the end of a term. The pardon itself is a check against overly ambitious legal departments, the DOJ in the US. So there's all these checks and balances. So a good system has it. So when it comes to AI, what are the different checks and balances that you're adding that can help it, right? So if a decision gets made, is there a way to check that? A way to check decisions that may be controversial, that may not be correct? We saw Facebook, they added an entire committee to check the most controversial decisions they made. Their political decisions in the past few months are actually going to go through those committees. So they were made by a human team, a moderation team somewhere in Facebook, but now you have a body that sort of supersedes it and might overturn some of them if they think the evidence was not as clear or perhaps it was made in haste. That's really what a good checks and balance system does. Number 2, it's really about practical philosophy. We hear a lot about Stoicism, maybe you read Plato, maybe you read Aristotle, but we really want to find a practical take on philosophy. So to me, I think it means taking your AI, your models, the philosophy, and blending them with your company values. So how do you define terms? What's racism to your company? What's hate speech? What is appropriate? What is not? What are the different sources of data? How might those sources have biases if they don't represent specific groups? Who sort of gets missed out? Who is affected the most by improper AI models? These are the practical philosophical conversations and questions that your company needs to have. Not in the clouds, not disconnected from reality. Practically, what's going to happen day to day? How do we handle bad decisions? How do we improve? How do we get better? And then lastly, you need to understand that you're deploying this project, you're deploying the code in a world that's not black and white. So code is black and white. Either it works or it doesn't. You debug it, you don't. Code is very straightforward. I find companies see that and then they put it in a very complex world and it sort of starts breaking in very unusual ways, right? The edge cases really come out. We see this in self-driving cars. The bulk of the self-driving car is perhaps straightforward, but it's really the edge cases that really get you. Those different turns, those unusual ones, different weather patterns, things that as a human we can process very quickly, but a machine has to be built in. So the world isn't black and white. The systems we most rely on are not black and white. Some people say, the law is black and white, and that's not true, because if it was black and white, then we wouldn't need courts, we wouldn't need judges, we wouldn't need juries. We have all these things because very often we run into cases where it's not quite clear if this is the proper interpretation of the law, if this is the proper way of doing it. So your AI models may be black and white in the code, but not going to be black and white. So you need to understand that this is not a code approach only. This is really a hybrid approach between code and humans. So if you take those two ideas, understand the world is not black and white, trying to focus on practical philosophy and build in checks and balances, you start to really get to the heart around the ethics of AI and what does that mean for your company in particular. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, look for all those buttons here and the YouTube screen. And I'm really excited to announce the release of my first book, The Data Mirage: Why Companies Fail to Actually Use Their Data. Now, the book is not out yet. It's available for pre-order, but there's going to be a link in the description where you can go learn more about the book, why I wrote it, why I think you should read it, and the different bonuses that are available right now in the pre-order period. The book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble's, Chapters here in Canada, BAM, anywhere where you can buy books, you'll find it. So make sure to check out that. I would really be appreciative if you're able to buy a copy. Let me know what you think. You can leave a review, and I'm looking forward to that. Finally, in the comments below, just put one thing that you learned from today's video. Let me know what you thought, maybe what was missing. I would love to read that and other people as well. Until next time, talk soon.